Hey everyone, this is Josh with SKAA, and in this video I want to show you how to use the Ryobi Score speakers with a SKAA Talisa transmitter, as well as a SKAA Rush receiver with a powered subwoofer with an RCA input. We're going to create a complete wireless 2.1 home theater system to watch TV and movies in my living room. In the previous video I showed you how to set up two Ryobi speakers as a stereo pair using the Ursula transmitter and the SKAA command app. We're going to use this system as a starting point for our home theater setup. First, let's cook up my subwoofer solution. I'll connect the output of my Rush receiver to an 1/8 inch to RCA cable, and then to the RCA input on my powered sub, effectively making my sub wireless. Next, I'll use a small USB power adapter plugged into AC to create the 5-volt power source I need for Rush. I'll click Rush's bond button 6 times to clear its green list and start over. As soon as the green list is empty, Rush enters Amber Explore mode and starts hunting for a SKAA transmitter. Using my Isabella transmitter plugged into my iPad, Rush pops up in the SKAA command app. I set Rush's audio routing to mono by clicking the green bond block and selecting the downward firing speaker icon. Now the left and right channels will be summed together to make a mono mix prior to output. It doesn't matter which audio channel output from Rush I plug into my sub, red or white RCA, because they both carry the same mono mix audio. Remember, you can do this sort of audio routing setup with any SKAA receiver using the SKAA command app and Gemma on Android, Ursula on Mac and Windows computers, and Diz or Isabella on iOS. I can get my primary and secondary speakers to also pop up in SKAA command by double-clicking each of their bond buttons. The audio routing I set up for my Ryobi Score speakers in the last video, primary as left and secondary as right, remains stored in those speakers even though I've since powered them off. So when I use those speakers with Talisa today, the primary will still output only left audio, and the secondary will still output only right audio, which is exactly what we want for a home theater system. Speaking of the Talisa transmitter, it's a SKAA transmitter for SPDIF digital audio, a common type of audio output available on many TVs. Talisa will happily accept both flavors of SPDIF, Toslink optical or coax electrical SPDIF. Now I'll plug the SPDIF output from my TV into Talisa's input, and I'll plug Talisa's USB cable connector into the TV. Remember that the USB connection is for power only, so if you don't have a USB jack in your TV, just plug this cable into any USB power adapter fed by AC wall power. Note that on some TVs, you may have to go into the sound menu to tell the TV to output PCM stereo from its SPDIF output. Dolby and DTS surround encoded digital audio streams such as AC3 won't work with Talisa. If you can't convince your TV to output PCM stereo, try connecting Talisa directly to your cable box, DVD, or Blu-ray player. I'm done with SKAA command, so I'm going to turn off my Isabella transmitter. Isabella has dropped all 3 receivers, leaving them free to bond with the Talisa transmitter hooked up to my TV. Because it's already in Amber Explore mode, Rush immediately bonds with Talisa and starts outputting its audio to the powered sub. Let's save the Talisa transmitter as a favorite on Rush's green list by pressing and holding Rush's bond button for 3 seconds. Since they're still in Amber Explore mode, my primary and secondary speakers have also bonded up to Talisa. Let's save this new transmitter as a favorite on both green lists by pressing and holding each bond button for 3 seconds. Now we've got all 3 speakers playing audio from my TV via the Talisa transmitter. I'll turn my Ryobi speakers up to full volume, level 20, using their up volume buttons, and I'll use Rush's up-down volume buttons to trim my sub-level to taste. We can now watch TV and movies with huge wide stereo. I can spread the primary and secondary Ryobi speakers as wide as I want, especially since they're running on the 1+ batteries. Audibly, you can put the sub wherever you want. You can even hide it, because low frequencies are not as directional as high and mid-range frequencies. This setup sounds absolutely amazing, and it's fantastically clutter-free. Remember, you can also create a home theater setup like this using the Akiko transmitter instead of Talisa if your TV doesn't have a digital SPDIF output, but does have an analog audio output. The Ryobi Score speakers are available at the Home Depot. Talisa, Rush, and Akiko, as well as their cables and adapters, are all available from skaastore.com. SKAA. Share audio anywhere.